Let's talk about circles. So for every circle, you're going to have a center, which we will label as C, which is a point in the plane, and you're going to have a radius, R. And to make a circle, you take your center. For example, let's say the center is the point 2, 2, and your radius, which is a length, let's say the radius is 2, and it's going to be all of the points that have this radius, this distance from that center. So I'm going to try to make a bunch of points that have a distance of 2 from the center. So here are 4 points that have a distance of 2. So you can see that if these tick marks here is a half, each one is a half, so this is 3, this is 4, so I have to go over 2 to go exactly 1 unit length. So 1, 2, this point has a distance of 2 from the center point, which I'm calling 2, 2. And then this point has a distance of 2, this point has a distance of 2, and this one has a distance of 2, but there's lots of points that have a distance of 2. In fact, if I take this line here and I just rotate it a little bit, then this point here will have a distance of 2. And in fact, all of the points that have a distance of 2 from your center make up a circle, which I'm going to draw to the best of my ability. A circle looks something like that. So again, a circle is all of the points that have a fixed distance, which this distance is our radius. So all of the points that have this distance from the center. What is the standard form for a circle? Well, if you have your center HK and your radius R, the way we're going to write the equation for a circle is x minus h squared, where h is the x coordinate of your center, plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where r is your radius. So for my example right here, my center is 2, 2. So the equation of this circle is x minus 2 squared plus y minus 2 squared, and my radius is 2, so this is going to be 2 squared or 4. So you can simplify this to x minus 2 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Let's look at some more examples. Let's find the equation of the circle with a radius of 2 and it's centered at the origin, 0, 0. Let's also graph the circle. Okay, let's write out the important information. Our radius r is equal to 2. Our center, again, which we're going to label as h, k, this is the point 0, 0, which tells us that h is 0 and k is 0. Let's graph this. So we're going to put a little point in the middle, and that is just to help us graph the circle. And then just find all the points that are, I guess, above and below and to the sides that have a distance of 2. That's going to help you draw the circle. And then we can just make a circle using those points. Of course, this center point is not part of the circle. The circle is all the points on this line here. The center is not a part of that circle. It just helps you make the circle. So let's write the standard form of the circle, the equation of this. So remember, it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. H here is 0, k is 0, so we get x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to 2 squared. Let's clean this up a little bit. X minus 0 is just x, and parentheses x parentheses squared is the same thing as just x squared. We don't really need those parentheses. And then this is y squared, and 2 squared is 4. So that's the equation of this particular circle. Let's scroll down. Let's try another example. Let's find the equation of the circle that has a radius of 3 and a center of 3, -1. Also graph the circle. So since our center is 3, -1, that tells me that h is 3 and k is -1. Our radius r is equal to 3. Now you can decide which one you want to do first, finding the equation or graphing. It doesn't really matter the order. Let's find the equation. So we should have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, and just plug all the important information in. This is x minus 3 squared plus y minus a -1 squared is 3 squared. Clean this up. This is x minus 3 squared plus y, this becomes plus 1 squared is equal to 9. So this is the equation of the circle. In fact, I don't want to mix that 2 up with the line, so let me try that again. Something to notice is that in this equation, when we cleaned it up, we always had the opposite sign of the center. So we had a positive 3 here, a -3 goes here. And we had a -1 for k, which became a +1 inside this equation. And that's because we had these minuses in the standard form. Let's draw this circle. So again, let's put a dot at the center, which is 3, -1. Now what quadrant is that in? Let's test our knowledge of quadrants. This is the first quadrant, this one is the second, this one is the third, and this one is the fourth. Remember, when we label quadrants, we go in a counterclockwise direction. So the point 3, -1, well, the x is a +3 and the y is a -1. That means we're in quadrant 4. Here's 3 right between 2 and 4, and -1 is right here. So this is the point 3, -1. Now to draw this, I'm going to draw 4 points to help me make the circle. And the 4 points I'm going to draw are the points that have a distance of 3 that are above and below this point and to the left and to the right of it. If I have 4 points, I know what a circle looks like and I can finish the drawing. So let's measure 3. So we have to go, here's 1, because this is, remember that these tick marks are halves. So this is 1/2, this is 1, this is 1 1/2, this is 2, and so on. So here's 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do 3 down. 1, 2, 3. 3 to the left side, 1, 2, 3. And then 3 to the right side. I'm actually going to erase this point so I can see. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't need these anymore. I just need these outside points. And now we're going to make a circle using these points, and do it to the best of your ability. Something like that. Again, if you, well, let me erase this. Try again. Okay, looks something like that. You know what a circle is. I could do it really fast, but I'm not very good at doing it slow, and particularly if it's a big one. But I'm sure you can do a better job than me. And remember that the center is not really part of the circle, it just helps us make the circle. We could also find 4 points on the circle. If I asked you for some points on the circle, can you do it? Can you tell me what they are? And the answer is yes. Remember that this point right in the middle was 3, -1. That was our center. And we counted 3 up. So 3 up changes the y coordinate here. This point you can see is 3, 2, which means all we did was we added 3 to this number because we went up. So we got the point 3, 2. If you want to go left, you're subtracting 3 from the x-coordinate because the x-axis is left and right. So this point is 0, -1. And then this point down here, we are going down 3, which means we're talking about the y. So this is 3, -4. And you can see that right here. We have the -4, but we fixed 3. And then this one is moving the x. We're going to add 3 to this x, so we get 6, -1. So here I gave you 4 points that actually lie on the circle. Let's try another problem. Let's find the equation of the circle that has a diameter of 8 and center -2, 2. Let's also graph the circle. What is a diameter? Well, a diameter is the length of the straight line that goes through the center. Okay, so let's draw the center first. -2, -2. That is right here. And like I said, when we make a circle, we put points to the left and the right and above and below. And let's say we have some line going through this center here. Now I'm telling you that the length of the line, when you intersect it with the circle, you get 8. That means it's 4 to the left and 4 to the right. So the diameter is always 2 times the radius. So if the diameter is 8, we get 8 is equal to 2 times r, or r is equal to 4. So let me erase this. Since we know our radius now, let's draw our circle. So we're going to move 4 units to the left and the right of this point. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 up. Okay. Now let's try to make a circle. Looks something like that. I think this one was better than my last one. So this is the circle. And again, the diameter is the distance between these 2 points if we go right through the center. So the diameter here is 8, and the radius, which is the distance from this point to the center, is 4. So this one is 4, and this one is 4, and the whole length is 8. Okay, now let's find the equation of the circle. Again, the standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. R here is 4, so we put 4 squared. Then x minus, well, let's go back. This point here is -2, -2. So we're going to plug in -2 for x, for this h, and -2 for k. And like I said before, when we clean this up, we're going to have the opposite signs. So this is going to become x plus 2 squared plus y plus 2 squared is 16. 4 squared is 16. And now we have the equation of our circle. All right, this time I've given you the equation of the circle. I want to graph it, and then I want to find the radius and the center. So before I gave you the radius and the center, now we're doing this in reverse. I'm giving you the equation. So let's look at this equation, and let's write it in standard form. Remember, the standard form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So it's almost in standard form. Well, it is in standard form, except for this y part, we don't have it, it's subtracting something. And this 1 Well, we have to figure out what number, when we square it, we get 1, and that will be our radius. Okay, let's start with the center. Notice that y squared, that's the same thing as y minus 0 squared, right? So we can write this as x minus 2 squared plus y minus 0 squared, and the square root of 1 is just 1. So 1 squared is 1. When you write it like this, it's easy to see the radius and the center. So the radius here is 1, because that's the number we square to get this number here. And the center is h comma k, which we take the opposite signs here. So this is 2 and 0, because we had a negative 2 and a negative 0, so just 2 and 0. Now let's graph this. So we need to put a point at 2, 0. So remember, the x-coordinate is 2, the y-coordinate is 0. This is going to help us make the circle. And then let's measure a distance of 1 from that point. Okay, we can erase the center. We don't really need it now. And now let's just connect these 4 points using a circle. I'm going to try again. Okay, so this is our circle here. The next thing we're going to talk about is the standard form of a circle is really nice. We are able to find the center and the radius easily, but sometimes we're not given that form. For example, let's say we have x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is 1 squared. So we can see easily from the standard form. So this is the standard form. We can see the center, it's 2, 3, and the radius is 1. But what if we FOIL these pieces? So if I FOIL this, x minus 2 squared is x minus 2 times x minus 2. And I get, well, FOILing is first, outer, inner, last. You'll get x times x, which is x squared. You'll get a negative 2x, another negative 2x when you do the inner part, and then the last part, which is 4. So you get x squared minus 4x plus 4. And let's FOIL this y minus 3 as well. So this is y minus 3 times y minus 3, which is y squared minus 3y minus 3y plus 9, which is y squared minus 6y plus 9. Let's substitute these pieces. Since this is equal to this, let's plug it in. And since this piece is equal to this piece, I'm going to plug it in right here. So in other words, this becomes x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 is equal 1 squared is 1. So all I did was I substituted, instead of this, I put this. And then here, instead of this, I put this here. And now let's add the numbers together. So we get x squared minus 4x. I have a y squared, a minus 6y. Then 9 plus 4, that's 13, is 1. And then move the 1 to the other side. So we get x squared minus 4x plus y squared minus 6y plus 12 by subtracting 1 is 0. Sometimes you might see the equation of a circle like this, where you have an x squared, you have a y squared, then you have something times an x, something times a y, and then a number set equal to 0. What we did was we just took the formula we usually see and we FOILed it and combined the numbers together. So this is still a circle. It's the same equation as this one, just written in a very difficult to interpret manner. So what's going to happen is on your homework, you're going to be asked to write the standard form of a circle in general form, which this is general form for this particular example. This is the general form. Or you might be given the general form and asked to write it in standard form. And I'm going to show you how to do that soon. So in the general form for any circle, let's write the equation. So the general form for a circle is x squared plus ax plus y squared plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers. So basically you can put whatever you want in for a, b, and c. The coefficients in front of the x squared and the y squared are 1. And if they're not 1, they need to both be positive and you need to divide it out. But for the examples we're going to see, they're going to be a coefficient of 1 for both of these. And this a and this b and this c can really be anything for the most part. But when you move things over, you're going to be able to get it into this standard form, something like this. So we're going to look at some examples where we do that. And we're going to have to use a method called completing the square to put something in general form back into standard form.